All right, well, day 3 on the open ocean. Boat's behaving wonderfully. You can see the swells in the background, and okay, I guess I need to be honest here. So I'm in a store shopping center and people are staring at me like I'm a lunatic because I'm filming myself. They're right. I'm in Galveston because as we took off towards Flower Gardens, all 6 predictions of weather patterns by PredictWind, which I pay $140 a month for, were not just wrong, they were dangerously wrong. But it's the Gulf of Mexico, and that's why everybody hates sailing it. So we took off for Flower Gardens. We discovered that balancing our sails, I hope you can hear me, balancing our sails essentially requires keeping a reef in the main at all times. Because the sail's so out of trim, we get a lot of weather helm, which is a problem with tying a 37 anyway, but we get a lot of weather helm, and for the monitor, wind vane, and the autopilot to really take care of us, we had a reef in the main. But we also had a crazy problem with it getting any closer than 55 degrees off wind. And of course, the wind was blowing out 150 degrees, which meant basically the 110 degrees we could sail efficiently and effectively towards our target was off limits to us. So we sailed around a while, we played with it, we played with our autopilots, we spent the first day doing what we were supposed to do. Then we took off towards Flower Gardens, and we reefed the Maine, and then we reefed the Yankee, and then we had sustained winds over 20 knots, and 3-meter swells to 4-meter swells, timed about 2 seconds apart for 9 hours, straight on. And it was slamming us. So the first night we motored, trying to get further offshore, trying to quarter the seas, but it's pitch black, so it's hard to see when the waves were shifting. And we basically had one of the worst nights I've ever had on a boat. That's not the problem, though. That beat the crap out of the boat and beat the crap out of us. But that's not the problem. The problem is, on our very first day sailing to Galveston, our float switch on our primary bilge pump got stuck in the up position and burned the bilge pump out. Not really a huge problem because I have a second bilge pump because I'm not an idiot. So I got a second bilge pump, which is a high volume, high flow bilge pump for real emergencies. And we thought, okay, switch is broken. I have a spare bilge pump, maybe underway on a calm day. We'll swap out the bilge pumps. But first, I went to put the spare switch I had onto the second bilge pump so that it would become an automatic and have a switch on it. Didn't work. So my spare switch seems to make a connection, but won't work with that bilge pump, or there's something just totally wrong with the way I understand electricity. Which is a bad sign for the boat if that's true, because I did the electrical. I think we're okay. But anyway, it doesn't work. So we had to watch the bilge and do all sorts of manually. And that by itself is not a big deal. You just got to pay attention, right? Right. Move on, guys. Midway through this brutal night of slamming 6 to 9 to 10 foot waves coming every 2 seconds. So just as you went down the other one, you're slamming into the other. Sometimes the confused sea state was as such that 2 waves would hit us basically off each quarter. And boy, that was fun. That beat us up really good. And we'd wallow. Anyway, Beth discovered we had a lot of water in the bilge. And so we turned on the bilge pump and we pumped it out. And looking where the water was coming from, yes, it was coming from the shaft. The shaft gland packing that was redone by the previous owner 1 year ago before I bought the boat has failed. He said the shaft was balanced. He said the engine was balanced. The shaft was aligned. So either the shaft is worn or he just doesn't know how to do packing or something. I don't know. So with water coming in, the need to motor a lot, when motoring, making the water come in like a small stream, we got near the end of the night and missed a watch on the bilge. Totally my fault. Take responsibility for that. And I went and pulled the floorboards up, and the water was sloshing around at the bottom of the floorboards. Turned on the pump, pumped it all out, looked at my water tank. My water tank was full. It was not full 2 days ago, because we had been using some of it. So all that water sloshing around from the Gulf of from the Gulf of Mexico got in our water tank and contaminated our water. So that was the end of that. That's the end of that. Sorry, I'm trying to cross the street. So, pause. Anyway, so back to Galveston we went. So we came back to Galveston. We're going to do all the repairs. I'm going to repack the shaft. We're going to clean the water tank and refill it. We're going to might as well change the oil and everything on the engine again and make sure the coolant's good. There's nothing wrong with the engine. It performed flawlessly. About the only thing that did. Oh, we're replacing the bilge pump, obviously, with the new one with the switch. Getting everything set up. And Beth and I will probably continue on alone with the delay and the stress and the breakdown of the boat. I don't think Kyle's going to be able to continue with us. Just don't think it's going to work out for him. So Beth and I will change of plans. We are going to day hop coastal cruise. Only going overnight if we absolutely have to get to Florida. Shake down the boat, make sure all our repairs are working. And if everything holds up really good, we'll cut the corner from the Mississippi Delta to Florida and then go day hop down Florida, which we always plan to day hop Florida anyway. So we'll jump down there to Florida, jump to the Keys, and if everything's looking good, then Beth and I will take the Gulf Stream up to Maryland. We still think we're going to be there by the end of the month because it really was only supposed to be a 20-ish day trip that we built in all this time for just such emergencies. But with 2 crew, because we always knew we might have to drop Kyle off early. We always knew we might have to stop in at North Carolina or something to fly him home. But if it looks like we're going to do 2 crew the whole way by ourselves, we don't want to sail overnight right now while we're. I don't trust repairs for a good week or 2. They have to perform for a week or 2 before I trust them. So with 2 crew, we want good night's sleeps. So we're gonna. We don't think we're quite ready to take on the Gulf of Mexico with just 2 people yet, because it is a tough body of water to cross. So we're gonna coastal hop, and we'll probably leave tomorrow after another good night's sleep. And our next destination will be Port Arthur. We'll go to the Port Arthur Authority, spend the night there. Then we'll try to get to Charles or something. Maybe we might have to drop anchor at that point, but we're good. We're filled up. Everything looks good. After we do the repairs, we'll see. All right, that's it. That's your update. We returned back to Galveston with our tails between our legs because the Gulf of Mexico kicked the stuffing out of all 3 of us and the boat. So there you go. I'm not going to say don't trust predict wind. I'm going to say the Gulf of Mexico doesn't give a darn about your predictions. All right, bye.